Welcome back, everybody. This is Steven.
And that means that this is Scooby. I've recently made some upgrades, so hopefully I sound a little bit more high fidelity, or hi-fi if you will. This is the feedback where Steven and I bring music to one another and by extension to you in an effort to expand our musical horizons. Today, Steven has brought the song. I have brought beverages. Steven has also brought beverages, I'm sure. I today have strawberry lemonade and water. It's homemade strawberry lemonade. Homemade lemonade, and I have a gallon of strawberry syrup that I bought last year because I was like, I love strawberry lemonade. But do you know how much a gallon is when you usually use like a teaspoon per cup? It's a lot.
It's a good investment. That's what it
It
is.
is. But the other problem with that is that if I want to buy other flavors, I'm like, I still have so much strawberry left. So I can't justify it.
I would like to buy another flavor, but I still have a gallon of strawberry.
Yeah. And before we get to the song this evening, I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit because this is something I've been thinking about over the past week or so. It's been a while since we recorded too. But the other day, and I've discussed this before, I can listen to music at work. I usually have my phone in my shirt pocket and I'll just put on my Spotify likes, which is nearing 3,000 songs at this point, and there's everything on there. And a song that I enjoy very much that we've actually discussed before on this podcast was on Stay by Mac Miller. And one of my coworkers, I walked by her and she heard the music and she looked at me and she goes, "Are you listening to Mac Miller?" And I was like, "Yeah, I love Mac Miller." And she went, "That's not something I would expect you to listen to." And that brings me to my question, which is, what does that mean? What does that mean? Do you look at someone and you're like, I know what you listen to? And do you look at yourself and think, yeah, you look like you would listen to this?
I never have looked in the mirror to think to myself, what does it look like I listen to? But I 1000%, like without a doubt, have looked at people and been like, oh, I know it. Like, oh, you listen to Nickelback. Oh, you listen to Five Finger Death Punch. Oh, you listen to Disturbed only. Like, oh, you only listen to Dave Matthews Band. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's definitely people where I've looked at them and like, oh, you are definitely a jam band guy. I've definitely done that before. 1000%. What does it mean? I guess it means that you give off the image of somebody that wouldn't normally listen to rap, and I think that that's fairly accurate as well. So I mean, you can't get too offended.
I'm not offended. It wasn't offensive. I was just curious because I wish I had followed that up with what does it look like I listen to? Because I didn't think
You
about it.
definitely should have. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't want to, it's been like 2 weeks now, so I don't want to go to work on Saturday and be like, you remember like 2 weeks ago? What does it look like I listened to? I almost said her name, and I'm not going to do that. It doesn't matter. I doubt she listens to the podcast or anyone would know who I'm talking about. But
but still,
but
but
still,
still.
it's just one of those things that now I'm curious that if I'm wearing a Bill Murray hat, which I recently bought, of course someone's going to be like, "Oh, you listen to Bill Murray." But if I'm just wearing like generic clothes or if I'm wearing my work outfit, what is someone going to look at me and think that I listen to?
I don't know. I guess that's. I think I would have to see present day. I would definitely say that when we met each other, you definitely looked like a ska kid.
Yes. Yeah.
And I don't know if that was intentional or not, but like you looked like a ska kid. I think that's not a bit like you said before. It's not an insult to anything unless it's like a genre you never would listen to. Like, I'm sorry, what?
Right.
Don't let a metalhead hear you call them a punk kid. Oh my god,
Right. Yeah.
how dare you? But yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know if everyone. I'm actually kind of curious what other people think what you look like in terms of music, or what I look like in terms of music, because that's actually that's a curious thing. I've never thought what someone thought I looked like as a music person. Do you have any recollections of maybe like when we met, or even because we've discussed before, clearly we met to play in a band. We had to find out what each other's tastes in music were somehow, or we weren't going to figure this out together no matter what we tried, right?
Yeah. See, that's the problem is that my very first meeting with you was about music.
True.
So I didn't have a chance to sort of form that opinion because it was basically the first thing we talked about.
That's true.
So I'm not really the right person to ask that, unfortunately, because I
Hmm.
automatically was informed of what that was.
That's fair, but I mean, when I said the music that I listened to, you're like, yeah, it looks like you listened to that, or you're like, I don't think I would have expected that, or did you really? Because like I said, like when you said that you listen to ska music and also Coheed, I was like, yeah, you appear to be a person that would definitely listen to that type of music, and cool, that's awesome. Like, I'd expect to see you at that concert if I showed up, and maybe you'd expect to see me, or maybe you wouldn't, like that kind of a thing, maybe.
Yeah, but I think that I probably would have been like, yeah, you listen to some heavier stuff. And not necessarily like metal. I don't think I would have
Hmm.
gone that far, but in the realm of what we were playing at the time.
Yeah, yeah, fair.
But by that same token, I wouldn't have known, and I don't know if you had it back then, but you certainly do now. I don't know that I would have picked up or thought that you had such a passion for rap music as well.
That's fair. And I think that that kind of thing also was growing because the funniest thing, it's funny that you mentioned that. So like I was probably early 20s, I think, but like when I was like 16, 17, so like 2 to 3 years before that, which also felt like an eternity. Oh, I guess more like 3 to 4 if I was 16, but still, I digress. I remember somebody, I was driving, I picked up my friend. He had other friends with him that I didn't know, and they asked if I had any rap music. And I was like, oh yeah, I got this. And I'm me thinking I'm super cool because I have rap music, because at that point I hardly listened to anything. I mean, the rap that was on the radio, sure. I never made a full compilation CD of what I heard on the radio, because around that time I stopped pretending to listen to the radio, even though I still did, because it wasn't cool anymore, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Duh. This is like, it's embarrassing to say it now, but the only rap CD that I had readily available was the Linkin Park Jay-Z crossover
Dude,
that they did.
that's not embarrassing. That
It is when you say it's a rap
no,
CD.
that's like the closest we got to world peace for a little while there, dude. That brought people
Dude,
together.
no, you're absolutely right, but like that was more like the most new metal thing that could have happened.
Also true. But think, I mean, you had System of not System, but Serge Tankian from System of a Down singing with Wu Tang. They gave him the N word pass. Cypress Hill, like Body Count. There are a lot of bands that,
Papa Roach.
yeah, but there are a lot of bands that did sort of bridge that gap as much or
Yeah,
more than Linkin Park. Linkin Park was just the most popular example. And then, of
fair.
course, when you are like Linkin Park and Jay Z, then it was called Worlds
Also true.
Collide, wasn't it? Or something like that.
I think so. I wouldn't be able to
No,
tell you you were
it
right or
was
wrong because
Collision
it's been far
Course.
too long.
I believe it was Collision Course.
That makes sense too.
Worlds Collide was that Power Man 5000 song.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, now that that's out of the way, my drinks today.
Yeah, tangent already, but that I had to get that out there because it's something that I've been wanting to bring up.
Yeah, dude. When it's something that's on your mind, that first of all, I meant to say, you need to. I don't care that it's been 2 weeks. I don't care if you feel a little bit awkward. I think personally that you should just be like, hey, you know, I do this podcast and I remembered that 2 weeks ago you said something, and I actually realized I wanted to ask you, what does it sound, or what do I look like I listen to? Just, and maybe, and then maybe follow it up with a, is it because that's what you normally hear me play, or because like you said, if you have it in your coat pocket or your shirt pocket and you're walking around, if they walk by every time and they hear your elevator music, and then all of a sudden they hear a Mac Miller song, yeah, they're gonna be kind of surprised, and they're gonna be like, oh, I thought you only listen to elevator music. And then I mean that kind of sucks too.
There's nothing wrong with Chuck Mangione, damn it.
There's not. I've said the same thing.
So what if I listen
You
to
can die on this hill.
what if I listen to Dave Cause in my spare time? Leave me alone.
But yeah, you should find a way to circle back. I think that's a good way to do it myself, personally, is being like, I do this thing and we talk about music and I remembered that and I talked about it with my friend and I'm kind of curious. What do you think? Because, like, he said he can agree and he saw me as a ska kid. So,
Yeah.
like, but yeah, anyway, after the fun filled tangent and distraction and back and forth again, I have cherry Coke, not cherry Pepsi, because cherry Coke was way cheaper this week than ever. So I'm very happy to, because I definitely prefer Coke over Pepsi. You heard it here first, folks.
Wait, what?
Baja Blast.
You prefer Coke
I
over
know. I always say,
Pepsi?
yeah, I always say so I prefer base Coke over base Pepsi. I thought we talked about
Oh,
this, and I
okay.
prefer cherry Pepsi over cherry
Okay.
Coke.
Okay.
Right. I thought we talked about this. I could be wrong, and maybe I'm backtracking or back talking here, but I swear that's what I said. I could be wrong, but and then when I just said I prefer Coke, I can understand confusion. My fault. I get it. On me. Anywho, cherry Coke and water. Ooh, man, what a roller coaster it's been. Hopefully you're still here. I'll cut right into it so we don't keep going off and off and off. We are going to be listening to a band named Super Sometimes tonight. Have you heard of them?
No, sir.
Good. I wouldn't think that you would, and I was hoping that you didn't, because I also just heard of them not too long ago, and that's because they're a relatively new band. I think they're about 3 years at this point, maybe longer if I'm mistaken. I apologize right now. I know as far as like singles and things of that nature, they've been putting out music since 23. I don't know how long they've actually been a fully formed band and all of that and what have you. But I found out about this. I think this was a part of the February series. Remember, we were saying, for those of you at home listening, that Scoobs and I had found an exorbitant amount of extremely good music in February, and now here we are at the end of April, still unraveling some of that music for you. But we're going to listen to a song by Super Sometimes today, and that song is Spork. Spork. This is off of their first album, which, well, actually, it was a single before it became a part of this album because they released a whole bunch of singles and then they took those singles and put them together to make an actual CD, LP, whatever you want to call it. It's now on From Then and Now, which came out in 2025. And I'm just going to say it right now so I don't forget to talk about it later. They have another album coming out in 2 weeks as of our recording. So it'll be out for like a month when you hear this episode. It's coming out May 15th. It's called Show the World What's Underneath. There are 3 songs that have come out so far off of it. They're all amazing. I love all of them. I'm pretty sure Spork was the song that came up on like a songs you might like playlist, which I'm very happy that it is suggesting new music to me because we talked about this before how we need to find bands that are in genres that we still like that are new because we keep listening to old stuff all the time. But they are an emo pop punk ska band, and personal feelings about who they sound like to me are State Champs, Blink 182, and The Story So Far.
Hmm. See, when you said pop punk emo, my mind automatically sort of went to, are they going to sound like Millington?
Ooh, interesting. That would have been good.
There, that was not a confirm nor deny. So,
I want to leave it open to interpretation. I think you might be able to find some similarities, and maybe there are. The reason I said Blink so much too, not only was that something that I felt, but I also looked up and saw that they're compared to them a lot. They're from the same area of California, which is probably why.
okay,
They're also a San Diego, California band.
gotcha.
I wanted to say something else about a different song, but I want to do that later. I don't want to do that now. What I will do now, before we start the song, is introduce you to the band. Oh, yeah, I'll tell you that part. So, first off, they're both listed as guitar and vocals, so I don't know what part is lead guitar, or if there is a lead guitar, or who's playing what, etc. Maybe they take turns. But we have Gabriel Munoz, and Dylan Danger Guzman. Those are both titled as guitar and vocals. The reason why I was laughing and saying I will tell you, the oldest band member is Matthew Anklier. Anklier? Anklier. He's on bass. He is 21 years old.
Oh, so they're youngins.
Oh, they're young. And then Matthew Ludwig is the drummer. Yeah, I think that's all I want to say right now. I will go ahead and tell you more about them later. But I am excited, and we have definitely been talking about a lot of stuff that hasn't been music. Well, it has been music, but it hasn't been this episode today. So, without going too much further off the course here, unless you have anything else you wanted to ask me before we started, because I definitely didn't give you a chance. Sorry.
No, I'm good. I am interested to hear that mix of genres. I think you know me well enough at this point to know that that is something that automatically makes me go, huh, okay. So, yeah, I'm interested to jump in and see what we're working with here.
Cool. Well, with that, here we have Super Sometimes Spork. Oh, sorry, I was laughing a little bit there, but yeah. First take, Scoobs. What do you think?
First of all, music video. Very silly, but it sucks getting old because I just felt old watching that. But my thought was, the kids are all right.
Right?
Honestly, yeah. Once the music kicked in, immediate Blink vibes. You're correct. It really reminded me specifically of the song "Here's Your Letter" from their self-titled album. I hear a lot of comparison to the bands that you mentioned, and I think it fits perfectly. There's definitely that Blink vibe, but they also still have the heavier elements that Blink never really sort of got into, but those other bands you mentioned did. It feels like they are a band that really did their homework and wears their influences on their sleeves, which is to me never a problem unless it's like a carbon copy of another band, which this doesn't feel like that. This feels like you could see what we like, you could see where we're coming from, but we still have our own sound. And that to me is always admirable in a new band.
Absolutely. Yeah, I couldn't have said it better. I agree completely with the whole. You can tell what we listen to 24/7 because we're playing something that sounds kind of like all that mashed up.
Yes.
And like that's where I was getting, and you aptly kind of circled back with state champs in the story so far, kind of being on the vocal side where the musical side was more on the Blink, right? Like, did you see that as well?
Yeah.
Especially like the speed. The speed was very much like a Blink type esque song, and here's your letter. Yeah, 100%.
Yes.
The one thing I did want to say before I forgot, I love that music video. I agree, it was very silly. I don't know if you noticed, but there was a lot of attention being paid to they're at a Salvation Army and they found the new aesthetic hat. There's a reason for that. The band actually faced a lawsuit over their name New Aesthetic. I'm not sure why, but because of the cease and desist or whatever might have happened, whatever kind of relationship it had, they're like, ah, well, okay. And their band name is now Super Sometimes, but they used to be New Aesthetic.
Huh.
So that's why you're finding like their old merch in the Salvation Army bin because they're not selling it anymore because they can't.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I'm not sure why. Couldn't tell you. I definitely didn't find enough. There's a 4 image side scroll on their Instagram kind of talking about that it happened. And it says like it's like just like what happened to Blink, our once little band now from our band from San Diego has grown big enough to face our own legal situation over our name. But unlike them, we're gonna change it and go forward as Super Sometimes. But it just talks about that and like how they're gonna move forward as a band. The proper thing to do. You make a statement saying this is who we are. Sorry about the change. Hope it doesn't make anybody mad. Like mad. Here we are. This is still us. Join us. So yeah, nothing about like stupid or whatever the reason why. They just legal battles, not our choice. Had to do it, or
Yeah.
maybe it's our resolution, right?
Not
Not our choice, but our resolution,
not getting into like the nitty gritty of it. Just like, hey, we ran into a
right?
situation, and this is how we're gonna get past it. Not
I'm
like,
gonna put you on the spot.
yeah.
Sorry, you can finish your thought. Go
Oh, I
ahead.
was gonna say not like. I mean, like, I'm sure they were probably upset about it, but they're not gonna throw it out there for everyone to see and then get like the fans
Right,
involved and all of that because
right,
that's when you really start muddying the waters, and it's just
exactly.
probably smarter and easier to just be like, hey, this is the change we're making, let's move on.
I was gonna say the exact same thing. You don't want to get muddy as you're just starting out. You're like, hey, it happened. Let's keep going, guys. Let's have fun.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put you on the spot though. Do you know what Blink 182's issues were? Because I didn't know about this until this.
I don't know for certain, but I'm pretty sure they were originally just called Blink, and then
Ah,
they there was some sort of issue with that, so they added the 182. And I don't even know the relevance of what the 182 is. I could be completely wrong too, but that's something that I seem to remember.
okay. Because I have no recollection as to why that is. I definitely enjoy Blink 182. I'm definitely one of the fans that knows more of their popular hits than all their deep cuts.
Right.
But obviously, there's those few albums where it's like, yeah, that came out when I was listening to them, and I know every song, but I don't know that I know every song.
Right. Yeah.
But if you put it on, I'll sing every word and didn't realize that I knew so many. One of those kind of things.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I figured that I thought it was fun how they kind of paid homage to who they used to be in this song as well, because I'm fairly certain this was the big single when they compiled all of their EPs and made this.
Hmm.
I could be wrong, but it always tells you what the singles were, and that was one of three. Um, the other single, which I told my son when we were driving home from school, I was like, "Hey, buddy, I found this band, and I love them, and it's the truth. Like I have when I first heard this song, Spork, I went to find the album. I listened to the whole album and the whatever played after it, and then I realized it played after it, and I'd go back and play them again because they only had such limited content
Hmm.
for like a week straight. I threw some other stuff in here and there, but like the first thing I did was like Super Sometimes play, and that was it. But I told my kid, I'm like, hey, I'm having a hard time picking through songs. I think I want to go with the one that I heard first, but I like this one a lot. But it reminds me a lot of a Blink 182 song, and I put it on for him. He goes, yeah, it does. It sounds a lot like a Blink 182 song. I can hear it too. So track two is that song. Now, I haven't been naming the title yet for a very specific reason. The name of the song is All Systems Go.
Which is a Boxcar Racer song.
It is. It is a Boxcar Racer cover.
Oh, it's a cover. Okay.
Yep.
I
Yep.
I thought it might just be one of those instances where, there are only so many configurations of words and you're
Right.
going
Right.
to end up having songs with the same titles. But if it's a cover, that's a little different.
So yeah, it is a cover actually. Like it's full fledged as a cover, and I was like, oh man.
Okay.
Well, now I know why it sounds a lot like a Blink 182 song.
Because it's almost a Blink 182 song.
It's 2/3 of a Blink 182 song.
Yeah.
Oh man. But yeah, I told him that, and then I wrote down this note when I had the conversation with him because I didn't want to forget, and I have in parentheses, wow, duh.
Yeah.
But hey, it is what it is.
Now, real quick, normally when I we're gonna what I normally say part the kimono here a little bit. When I do the editing, I usually if we do the music video, I usually just put the song in there because there's no context for what's going on in the music video in an audio only format. And
True.
there's a lot at the start of this music video, just a lot of
There
dialogue and
is.
everything. So I'm going to reference something from the music video, which we already have and we do a little bit, and that's why we suggest to you to go check it out on your own time. I'm pretty sure that the radio announcer said $50,000 and the one kid goes, $500,000. I was like, uh, that math isn't mathing, senor.
It 1000% is what happened, and I
Okay.
I got it the first time I listened to, and I was like, "There's no way he just said that," and I looped back and listened to it again, and I was gonna do it for you just to make sure that you heard it, and I'm actually really glad you called it out because I forgot to, but yes, he 100% went $500,000. We're gonna be fucking rich. I'm gonna buy a boat. I'm gonna buy two boats and swimming lessons.
Not that $50,000 is any amount to sneeze at, but it's a far cry from 50,000 to 500,000.
Especially when you're splitting it between four people.
Yeah.
I thought it was really funny that they even that the whole enter part was like 1,000% a nod at like our generation.
Oh, absolutely.
Hey, you're the 50th caller.
And
You got a big label company. Big label company.
who thought that okay, so this came out you said 2023,
This one was originally released as a single in June of 2024.
2024. Okay. Who would have thought that even 2024 we were going to get kids, and I'm not using that term disparagingly. They're kids
Yeah, they're in their 20s.
making a music video referencing Weekend at Bernie's? Were they alive when that movie came out?
No, they were born after 9/11, Scoobs.
Oh God, my hips, my heart, my spine. No. Oh,
My knees felt that comment, you bastard.
oh man.
Also, I apologize. I definitely misled you there. It was a single off of From Then and Now in 2024. It originally released as a single in 2023. You are
I
correct.
mean, the point still stands. It
It does.
doesn't really
It
make a
does.
difference. But
No, but
yeah,
again, it does. It does make the point does still stand. But yes, as I said before, they are definitely unaware of Weekend at Bernie's. Well, I mean, clearly they're not, but I don't know how they are.
yeah. It's like I I I am not a very culturally informed person, and by that I mean pop culture. I tend not to pay attention to what's going on, or I have a very surface level understanding of it. So when I see bands reference things that I do understand, I'm sort of like that Leonardo DiCaprio meme where he's just pointing at the television screen. But part of part of what makes this more refreshing and like I said, almost as soon as we finish listening to the song, of that feeling of the kids are all right, it's like they're digging into the past and I guess respecting it, but just like having a nod towards it and being like, this stuff is still cool. at least to them. I'm sure not everyone thinks that way, everyone in that age bracket, but
Right. I would say that every part of this music video was like a nod to the 90s. And I don't think that's a bad thing because what we did a nod to like 70s and 80s stuff. We appreciated that stuff. That came out well, after the 60s, all that stuff. That came out way before us. And like there's still that influences, there's still that like we think what happened just before our parents were born was really cool when
yes.
we get to a certain age. Cuz it also missed them,
Yeah,
right?
and this is kind of an oddly specific poll, but it might just be because just earlier today I watched The Blues Brothers. It's one of my favorite movies. I don't watch a lot of movies, but I think maybe like 10 years ago at this point, Hanson, yes, Hanson of Mbop fame, uh,
Yep.
released a song. I can't remember what it's called right now, but the music video was an homage to the Blues Brothers, and it was the scene where they meet up with Ray Charles. In the movie, they play "Shake a Tail Feather," but of course they did their own song here. But they had Weird Al in it, and it was just this crazy homage and reference to the Blues Brothers. And I'm like, that movie came out 30 years ago. Again, it's one of those things where for us, even that movie came out before we were born. But
Right.
yeah, it's one of my
Well, the
favorite.
oldest
It's one of my favorite movies, and it came out before I was born. So I still think it's great. So this is almost that same sort of spirit where it's like that shit was really cool. Just like you have kids nowadays who say things like "I grew up in the wrong era" when they're talking about the MySpace era and wanting to grow up in like the heyday of My Chemical Romance and The Used, Taking Back
I gotta
Sunday.
tell you,
Yeah,
they're not wrong.
they're not.
They're not wrong at all.
No,
It was a great time.
it was.
If you're into that music, it was a great time. Absolutely. Just like we say the same thing about not being able to grow up with certain bands too. Like everyone has that nostalgia feeling towards like, man, I wish I grew up during this time because of this, or I wish I had this because of that. Like, yeah,
Oh yeah, there are bands that I will never get the chance to see just because A, they're retired, or B, most of their members are deceased at this point. So like
right.
it's like I would have loved to see this band or that band. So
I think I've said this before. I'm fairly certain I said it on an episode, and if not, well, I'm saying it now to make sure. But if you're going to see a band with a changed member, you are going to watch a cover band. It is still a cover band. I don't care. I
that's
don't care if it's
that's a
like
rough take, man. That's a solid like I think a lot of
I,
people will argue with you on that one.
that's okay. They can. And if that's a hot take, it's a hot take. I'll take the heat.
Yeah, that's the phrase
But like,
hot take. What did I say solid take?
oh, I didn't know you did. I thought you said hot take.
Oh,
Anyway, we'll pretend you
all
did because
right.
I thought you
That's
did.
a hot take, man. I'll fix that in post.
There you go. Nothing to see here. But no, and if it is a hot take, so be it. I don't care. I'll stand on this mountain and I'll die here if I have to. But like, think of it. Like, if even if it's like a different new frontman, then it's not the same person that wrote those lyrics. That's why sometimes they don't even play those songs anymore. I don't know if it's because they Bring Me the Horizon is doing a reunion tour with Ollie, and they're doing the that first album again,
Okay.
and like they haven't done that ever. So like he's learning how to scream again. So that's it. That like if he's there, it's the original thing. But like if it was a different member, like we were saying, on the very off chance that Emarosa would ever play original Emarosa, and like no, because I don't even think it's any they single the original members. It's not even the same style of music at all.
And
But if they did, it would obviously be a cover.
there's only two guys in the band now. So,
Right. It would be a cover though, wouldn't it?
I don't know. This is a subject I could debate for a while. So, do you think everything after the original lineup of Dance Gavin Dance has been a cover band?
No, because Dance Gavin Dance has always had a rotating lineup.
Okay.
Every album, something changes, and they come back to different people, and they come back to new people, and then like the original people will come back together again, and all that stuff. So like I feel like Dance Gavin Dance has generations, And even like the robot with human hair and the robot human hair part two, that was the same group both times.
True.
Nothing else, right? So like they kind of have their own locked into their own timelines, even because even I'm pretty sure they've done that before too with other albums, right? Aren't there other similar like part two albums or like continuations of albums where it's the same group of people again?
Probably the Strawberry series of songs, yeah. But no, that's
Yep.
that's also not true because like there's Strawberry songs with all the different lead singers. And plus, they always
Okay.
would have, not always, but they went through a lot of second guitars, like rhythm guitars, and also a lot of
Mm-hmm.
basses. The two main members have always been Matt Mingus and Will Swan. Even John Mess left the band for an album. So,
Right.
but
And that's what I mean. Like that was kind of one of those things where the band was always in flux.
okay, so I I'm just gonna ask one more example because I'm
Yeah.
curious. When Matt Skiba was in Blink for a couple
Okay.
years there, when Tom left the band and they had Matt from Alkaline Trio join, they were a cover band.
I mean, were any Matt Skiba you said? I'm not. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm unfamiliar with when this happened, and I'll take heat from this from friends I've had for a long time, you included. That's okay.
I can't remember the years, but they released two albums with Matt.
Again, that was I was going to say that's probably one of those times where like I knew radio hits more than I
Oh,
knew
I didn't really listen to
if there
those
were.
albums either. I'm aware of them happening.
Was Matt Skiba on any of the original songs when he played them live? And I mean live play
Oh,
performances. I don't just mean
I'm sure.
album
I'm
releases.
sure they didn't just play songs that they wrote with him. How could they? How
Right.
could they?
Exactly. Well, and then in that case, it would be a cover band because he wasn't a part of those songs. It's not his voice,
Yeah, because I find myself agreeing with you on certain bands and not on others.
which I get. You can have your. I mean, this is my hot take.
Yeah,
It doesn't have to be your hot take.
and I
So you can agree with me on stances, but be like, okay, he has some points here, but I don't agree with all of it.
yeah, that's pretty much what it is. And I'm not angry
Yeah,
at the take either. I'm not like I can't
yeah,
believe you say that. But
because you can believe why I would say that because it's true.
yeah, it's like and the biggest example that I'm thinking of right now is Rush. Like Rush is going on tour. It's Geddy and Alex. Of course, they can't go on tour with Neil. He's dead. So
Right.
they have a new drummer. I can't remember her name. She's very accomplished, though, a very good drummer. She plays all the songs great. But I'm sure, because you Rush fans are crazy. Rush fans are crazy. So I'm sure there are people out there being like, oh, I can't believe they do this. They're desecrating Neil's memory, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no. I'm sure they just want to have fun and play music. So do I consider them a cover band? Probably. Probably, yeah. But I also don't see anything wrong with it either.
Fair. See. But yeah, see, you get what I'm saying then.
Yeah.
I'm saying this more along the lines when it's the singer too. Like if like in the case of Paramore, right?
Yes.
We still have Haley, we still have one of the two brothers, and we still have the drummer. But like it's Haley's songs, so it's Haley's voice. I'm saying it's a cover band in the sense of even Sublime to Sublime with Rome, back to Sublime with Brad's son.
Yeah.
Sure, he might sound a lot like him. Sure, it might be the closest thing we'll ever get to seeing an original Sublime concert. It's still a cover band. And the hottest part of that, the hottest take that I might get the most heat from is Linkin Park. It's 100% a cover band. I'm sorry, but it is.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. However, I do have to say that I guess every ska band is a cover band, which coincidentally enough is also
True.
kind of true because man, ska bands play a lot of covers.
I
Even
was gonna say, I feel like that's like an album from a ska band or
uh,
a song from a ska band.
they're on Real Big Fish's live album, they play a couple covers, and at the end of one of them, Aaron goes, "Oh, a ska punk version of an '80s song. How original!" And I'm just like, at
I
least he's aware, you know.
was gonna say self-aware.
Exactly.
That's good.
Uh, and speaking of Real Big Fish, they're going on tour again, and a lot of the original members are back, and that's that makes me happy. Scott has
That's
rejoined the
exciting.
band. Dan has rejoined the band, and yeah, I'm hoping that maybe they'll release some new stuff. I honestly like fell off the Real Big Fish boat hard. Again, one of those bands where it's like I stopped listening at a certain point, and listening to their new stuff has been kind of cursory. Like saying,
Yeah,
Blink 182 is kind of the same. Honestly, I love Neighborhoods. I thought that was an amazing album and didn't get the credit it deserved. And the Dogs Eating Dogs EP might be the best work they've ever released, and I never hear anyone talk about it ever. But
I'll be honest, I don't think I've heard either of those, and I'm gonna write those
oh
down
my
too.
god. But
I didn't listen to their new stuff, obviously.
yeah,
I'm not gonna be ashamed to say that.
no, that's okay. And like I said, I listened to some of the songs that they had with Matt Skiba, and I was like, this is okay. And then even after Tom rejoined the band, I listened to a couple of the singles, and I was just like, no, it's not doing it for me. So,
That's fair.
and I cannot count the number of times we have discussed this with plenty of bands that we just sort of fell off after a certain point, and it's not out of dislike or disdain for the band most of the time. Please refer back to our A Day to Remember episode. I just think that,
Very recent.
yeah,
Very recent callback.
I don't know. I feel like, I don't want to say I grow out of bands, but maybe I do. I don't know. I'm shrugging. Maybe you can hear the shrug in my voice. But
If not, I am.
if not, I'm shrugging. And that's okay. I think I can be a big fan of a band's past work and not their recent output, and still appreciate the band. And if I still had the chance to go see some of these bands, I probably would.
No, absolutely. We've talked about it before too. Case in point, sorry not sorry, Max Bemis.
Yeah, that's honest.
Say Anything is a real boy, in my opinion, is all there ever is and ever will be of Say Anything. Because everything else that does exist, and there are songs I've listened to that I like are good, nothing beats Is a Real Boy. Like, and I mean like that's Desert Island album level.
Exactly. Yep.
Like, like front to back, I do not care. I can listen to it plenty of times and still not be upset.
Yep. No skip. No skip album. All killer, no filler. Which
Yeah,
coincidentally, All Killer No Filler is not one of those albums for me.
really interesting. I was
Yeah.
gonna say I thought you were gonna say it was. I can't remember. I haven't listened to that album in a long enough time to tell you that I would still listen to every song, no skip.
Yeah. I enjoyed Sum 41, but again, another band that, and they're disbanded now. They've quote unquote retired. But again, they're another one of those bands that like I listened to their first like four albums, and then I was just kind of like, I'm, I'm, I'm good.
That's fair. I don't know that I've listened to much other either, to be fair. So
They're and they're also one of those bands that, and I've spoken about this before. They're one of those bands that I listened to the couple of albums that I had so much that I made myself sick of them.
I've had that happen. Yeah,
Especially Does This Look Infected? Like, great album, but I listened to it too much. And I just think I could probably go back and listen to it now and be fine. But there was a time where I was like, it's like if you eat so much of a certain food and then you
mm-hmm.
make yourself sick eating it and you throw up, and all you can think of the next time you eat it is that it made you sick enough to throw up.
Mm-hmm. And you gotta wait like 4 years before you can try it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
And I would, this is, I mean, we're kind of already on tangents, but there are a couple of songs that exist in the world that I don't think I will ever not be sick of. One of them is All Star by Smash Mouth. Yes, I know it's a meme. I know it's funny. I know Shrek is love, Shrek is life. But
Yeah.
that song
All the things.
was so everywhere. It was in like five different movies, Shrek included, of course. It was in Rat Race. It was in Oh, there's another. Oh, Mystery Men.
It was the token ska song of the 2000s.
Yeah, and it was too much. The other one is The Reason by Hoobastank, because that song was also
Oh
everywhere.
my god. Every fucking sitcom, every fucking movie, always raining, always sad,
Yeah.
always a single person, always like a season ender, like cliffhanging bullshit. Fuck that shit.
You honestly like, can you name another Hoobastank song? I can, because Crawling in the Dark came out and they had a sweet Mountain Dew commercial using that song where someone did a barrel roll in a car, grabbing a can of Mountain Dew through the open window. But
Can I tell you that I was about to say lyrics that I was wondering if it was if it was Hoobastank or not. And as I got further along, I got to the chorus. I'm like, oh, I'm singing Headstrong. No, that's Trapped.
uh yeah, no. Yeah.
Like, I was typing in uh, um the part where it's like, I don't know about, and I'm like typing that in, and as I'm typing it in, I'm like, oh, more lyrics are coming to me right now. Type, and then I got to the part and it was like Headstrong. I'm like, ah,
You're
shit,
like, oh
this
no.
isn't Hoobastank.
No.
This is I'm not cool. I can't figure out a Hoobastank song. I am very wrong.
That song was like the prototype for tough guy metal. And I like,
Oh my god, I know.
there is like real tough guy metal out there. Like Pantera, no joke, legit tough guy metal. Trapped, no, not so much.
Trapped, trapped is the gateway drug to Disturbed, Five Finger Death Punch,
Yeah.
wearing white T-shirt cutoffs and drinking too much beer and punching your wife.
And again, like, there I will freely make fun of bands that I also enjoy. I like Disturbed back in the day. I listen to them by choice now? No. Papa Roach, same thing. I was way into Papa Roach when I was younger. Now I'm like, ew. But you know, whatever. I still love Limp Bizkit. I will die on that hill. Corn, I love Corn. You know, there some stuff you like what you like. Damn it.
Yeah, it's fine. You can die on your hill. We can all have our hills to die on. That's what we're here for. You know, that's life. You got to enjoy it.
All right, let's bring this back to Super Sometimes. Why is it called Spork? Is does it say?
I couldn't tell you, honestly. I haven't found anything. I haven't heavily looked into anything either to figure out why it might be. I was looking around for different stuff, but like I didn't find any specific write up on that song specifically. I was actually going to try to bring it back in around two because I want to talk about other parts of the song, and I realized how far off course we had gotten, and it was like, man,
Yeah.
how did we do this? I'm not mad. That's us, but it was a good one. I do not know. I can probably do another Google search real quick. I'll do that later if I remember, and we still have time. What I did want to talk about, and I wanted to ask you if you still had your lyric page open, and if not, that's okay. I can send it back to you, or you have time to right now. But just like not a direct like line I want you to look at in any case right this moment. I will in a moment, but right now it's just how much of this just literally felt through and through lyrically. Like to me, 100%. But like emo raw like songs, like those lyrics are like I would have loved this if I were in that age now. Not that I don't love it still, but like lyrically it feels like it fits 1000% from a person that's at the age that I am. I don't and the relationship that I'm in as well. I mean, because these are very much like it could be to me at least like a fuck you.
Yeah.
I can't believe like we're broken up. Get out of here. Leave me alone kind of thing. Right? Like that yeah, but like the music video didn't do that at all.
No.
The music video is completely different.
But yeah, lyrically angsty post breakup. This could be a Taking Back Sunday song.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh, absolutely. And that it's amazing for that too. I loved it, and I think maybe that's another reason why like I kind of loved the lyric content so much is that Taking Back Sunday, man. Pfft, come on.
Yeah.
I could still listen to that and pretend like it's 2006 and or 2003 or whatever years they were, because years are hard sometimes. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're getting old. It's hard to remember back that far.
Back in my day, you could write a song on just three hooks.
I mean, a lot of bands wrote songs on one hook. That's all they needed.
Yeah, whatever. Anywho, I was just throwing a number out there. I
Yeah,
didn't know what I was talking about. Come on. The lyric that I do want you to look at, if you do have the page
I
open,
do.
and for those of you at home that are not playing along and don't have your page open, you do, Scoops? I'm sorry.
Yes.
So I want you to see my second favorite iteration of the phrase and the toll tale, the tide toll tale, however you say those things. Words are hard. Um, Fool me twice, yeah, you never could, but shame on me to think you never would. Which is fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me, right?
And of course, if you're George W. Bush, well, well, you can't get fooled
Yes.
again.
Yes, that is my number one most favorite used version of that quote, which is the misquoted quote of George W. It's on a J. Cole, No Role Models. He actually has that play before like
Oh
a
God.
beat drop, and then he does the proper words in his closeout. But like, fool me one time, shame on shame on you, shame on fool me once, can't get fooled again. Like
Yeah.
that is that is George W. as far as I've ever remembered him and as far as I ever want to remember him. Like, I don't care about what he did. I was far too young. I didn't really know enough about politics at the time. I'm not going to look back at it, even though I probably should because it's important to. But that's not what this podcast is about. For me, as far as I'm concerned, I grew up in the time where, like, I would have thought that I could have been friends with presidents. And again, take this as you will. I at the time thought that I liked Bill Clinton, but as I got a little bit older to the age that I am now and like remembering George W, I feel like I would have loved to party with George W, and I think that tells you all you need to know about someone that was our president.
Yeah. I mean, well, Bill Clinton kind of like tried to shape and show himself as like the cool guy, like playing saxophone and wearing
Exactly.
sunglasses. So it
Exactly.
was an image he cultivated.
Right. But then like looking back and seeing like clips of W and knowing that he wanted to be W, and then it didn't help that like Family Guy also portrayed him very lovingly and as like a lovable little goof kind of a guy, and that he also kind of became that as he got older and his interactions with the Obamas and how he'd like troll Barack.
Yeah, yeah,
So like he became that guy where he was kind of like the ha, look at me daddy, look what I can do. And then would just go off and like do something stupid.
yeah,
And that was our president, ladies and gentlemen, for 8 years. Lovingly, lovingly. I'm not mad. I mean, I'm sure if I was an adult then, I wouldn't have been thrilled. But in when I was then, like where I was then, and where I think of it, and how lighthearted I view it now, because again, it meant nothing to me at my age then. I just look at him as like a guy that you'd want to party with,
yeah,
which I also think is 100% who he wanted to be his whole life, and might have been.
yeah,
Their lyrics not fitting the song like a ska band would,
yeah,
right? A very upbeat, fast, happy-going pop punk ska beat song with a very, very emo lyric lineup. Like, wow,
yeah,
okay, these kids are 20, and they're already doing it now. So, as our idols of present or past day did in their early 20s, we're getting now. So as far as I'm concerned, there's a very bright future for ska pop punk. Not to mention, as I said earlier, the three songs that are coming off or that have already come off their album that's releasing on the 15th, and I am very very excited to hear more music by them because I have loved everything I've heard so far, and I highly suggest listening to them to anybody, not just you.
Oh, I will definitely check out more.
It's super easy to get into them now because they only have one album out. This is for you, Scoobs, but everyone else that will be hearing this when it comes out, there's only two albums out, and not only as in the sense of like, man, I wish there was more, only as in the sense of like they just started. I have high hopes, and clearly you can never foresee the future, but if I think they're on the possible trajectory to have a Blink 182 length of career.
Yeah.
And that's all I want. I don't want to like put any kind of shadow on them because they're going to forge their own path. I just mean in the sense of like they're going to resonate with many generations and be people that like the kids that are their age listening to Super Sometimes now are going to be taking their kids to Super Sometimes concerts when they're my age, like I'm taking my kid to Blink 182 concerts now,
Yeah.
and he's loving it just as much as I am. I think that's the highest praise I can give. I feel like that's anybody that's into music is like, oh wow, shit, yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Like I hope my kid listens to these guys and wants me to take them to their concert when they show up and do a tour around here.
Yeah. I think that's pretty high praise.
But I don't know when that's gonna happen. You want to know why?
Why?
Because they're gonna be touring in Japan.
God, Japan.
I know. In September, they're going to Japan for like a month, which is fucking sick. Good for them.
Yeah.
They're actually, oh shit. Damn it. They were just in Philadelphia 3 days ago.
Oh, look at that.
They're already going down to Florida. Damn it. See, this is what I'm talking about. We've done this once before, and I always fucking hate it. I realized that if I was just a little more in tune with what was going on, they were opening. But still, I don't care. Arm's Length is playing a tour, and Super Sometimes is opening.
I know of that band.
Arm's Length?
I know of them. I can't say that I've ever really listened to them, but yeah.
Hey, I mean, that's something. So this is probably going to come out too late for you to do anything about it. And I apologize to anybody out there that's hearing about it and finding out about it and doing the same thing I am now. Because I'm pretty sure the last date is in the end of May. So there might be a couple of people left if it comes out in mid-May that you can still get your chance to see it. But if not, I'm sorry.
There's always next year or later in the
There
year.
is.
Who knows?
I mean, honestly, they're putting out this album right now. They're definitely going to be trying to push to see if they have enough room to be a headline tour soon. That's what this feels like to me.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have 2 albums worth of material, you can, because you need at least a half hour.
It's true.
So it's possible. It'd be a short set, but I'm telling you, if they are touring in support of this album come fall, which I can foresee happening, you'll see my old ass at their concert.
Hell yeah.
I'll bring my kid right now. I don't care. This is the kind of band that they are signed. They do have a record label with big record company. I don't know who it is.
Yeah.
I can't
Big
remember right
record
now.
label.
But this is the kind of band where like maybe not maybe Taking Back Sunday or like Hawthorne Heights, a band that used to play this genre and was really big at one time but doesn't really have the same presence. Like if you can bring them to open for Super Sometimes somehow, that'd be fucking sick. And I think that you'd pull a big ticket that way.
Yeah.
But I don't know what kind of chances you'd have of getting a band like that to do that now.
Duh. Well, let me just say that at one point a couple of years ago, when I was still in a band, we tried to contact the Menzingers about playing with them, and their agent was like, "Yeah, 1,500 up front," and we were like, "All right, guess that's not happening," because like $1,500 in the grand scheme of things is not a huge amount, but as being in a band where I never saw any money, which, again, that may not have anything to do with how much money we made and who was handling the money. Still, $1,500, that's a lot. And, like, I don't know.
Especially when you're carting yourself around and you're paying for your own gas and you pay for your own guitars and strings and
Yeah,
food and
everything. Just everything. Yeah.
yeah. It adds up. So yeah, 1,500's not something you just have sitting around when you're trying to be a poor broke band kid
And,
trying to have
yeah. And
fun.
not to throw shade at the Menzingers, like, they're fairly
No,
popular. I get it. And
right, no,
especially they're from where we're from. So you would think that
right.
if they're coming to play in their hometown area, they have a higher demand, so they can ask for
And they're gonna
more.
sell out.
So,
Yeah,
But yeah,
Exactly. It's that hometown hero.
I just remember being like, yeah, that ain't happening. Oh well.
It was nice to think about, but
Yeah.
I think that about does it for me. What about you?
I'm good. I am interested to hear more. I'll check this album out. See, I'm interested to hear the Boxcar Racer cover as well as everything else on the album. So,
Yeah, I highly suggest that you go out there and do that. I mean, again, we said there's only two albums. This first one I think is relatively short, all things considered, because again, it's pop punk. Yeah, it's 10 songs and it's 30 minutes. So we're averaging 3 minutes a song here, guys. If you don't have 30 minutes to binge an album, then what are you doing with your life?
agreed.
Listening to us for over an hour, right?
Yeah.
Oh boy. Well, with that being said, I'm gonna ask and implore you to please listen to me on this pre-recorded message. Maybe someday soon, not pre-recorded message about social media and how you can help us. Thanks for that killer introduction. Couldn't have done it better myself. All right, Scoobs, time to get real. Cue the Sarah McLachlan. Just kidding. We do, first of all, want to say thank you for checking us out, and hopefully, if you made it this far, you like what we're doing, and you want to help. And if so, here are some key ways. Most importantly, share our podcast with a friend or an enemy. We don't judge. We just encourage that organic sharing and growth because that's how Scoobs and I learn about songs together when we do our episodes. Next, you can share our social media posts from Facebook as the feedback, THE space FEEDBACK, or on Instagram, THEFEEDBACK_PC. You can comment, share, like, whatever you want to do. Just make it constructive at least. You can leave us a review on Facebook or wherever else you might be able to. I know some streaming services allow it. 5 stars would be great, and if not, tell us why. Next, you can check out our episode-inspired playlists. We send one out every week. We're doing it for you guys and ourselves, but mostly you guys. Keep listening to us weekly. That'd be awesome too. Or check out our old stuff. We got some catalog at this point. And the most important thing of all, just keep being awesome. Alright. Well, I think that was quite a bit, but I think it was all inclusive. And I hope you do it. So I want to say thanks and love ya.
And now that you've gone and done all the requisite social media things like follow, share, subscribe on all social media channels, including YouTube, make sure you check out the YouTube because we got playlists on there with songs, more songs by our featured artists and sometimes similar artists. So if it's something you like the vibe of, we will share some stuff that you might also enjoy the vibe of. That sentence got away from me. Anyways, I would also like to thank Exile, the artist who creates our intro and outro music. The track is called Egg, and you can find that wherever you find music as well. I think that about does it. Any final thoughts?
No, but as you said, that sentence got away from you. This episode kind of got away from us too. But that's why you're hopefully here and like us, because we're long-winded and tail off and go on tangents that are sometimes fun and make sense and sometimes don't.
Yeah, seeing as I just finished editing our last episode, yeah, I went off talking about how Bill Murray and WWE are intertwined, and it kind of made sense. So, whatever.
So it made it to the episode then? It didn't get cut?
It did not get cut, no.
All right then. It's a good thing that you're referencing it now, because maybe this won't get cut either.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for listening, everyone. I don't have a teaser for next week. Sometimes I do.
Ooh, I should ask.
This is not one of those weeks.
I am not prepared.
I'm not prepared. But by the next time we record, I will be prepared. All right, everyone. Thank you for listening, and join us next week for whatever we take up next. Goodbye. How do I mute this microphone?
Dude, I can still hear you.
I found
You're
it.
talking now.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I was like,
If you're talking now, I
I
can't.
was like, there's gotta be a button.
It'd be stupid if there wasn't.